take a few seconds right now and just imagine the long list of One Piece characters we've seen so far in the story. There's a lot of characters in the story. There's a lot of characters. But just imagine most of these characters in front of someone like Red Hair Shanks, enraged, about to unleash a divine departure. And these characters are T-posed up, about to take the divine departure right to the chest. No unique abilities activated. Nothing. Just raw body. Who? Okay. Who can take the divine departure of an enraged Shanks in the world of One Piece right now? Listen, give it a stack. Damn near nobody. Of course, we all saw last chapter what happened. Eustace Captain Kido, who we know is quite durable, actually very durable. He took so many attacks over the course of Wano Country, big attacks, and he kept it pushing. Impressive, without a doubt. But all it took was one divine departure, and he was literally on the verge of death before Dory and Brogy end his whole crew's career. This man, kid, big if, unironically, if he's still alive, is gonna be crawling back to the Grand Line. No, you don't understand, you young bucks. You don't understand, you young whippersnappers. The new world's full of these monsters. Yeah, he's gonna be a red-haired Gecko Moria. That is the fate of Eustace Captain Kido. Or he's gonna be crawling to Blackbeard. Please, 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 I need help. That's gonna be Kid. No! And listen, to be expected. He made Shanks mad. And like Goldie Roger, when Shanks is mad, he's a demon. You want to kill my crew? All right, cool. You, sir, will be meeting Davy Jones far faster than my crew will.
Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different?
So, it's a very powerful move, and I think people understand, like, universally, yeah, this was disgusting. But who could be in Kid's position and keep it pushing? Take that attack and keep on fighting. Well, that's a very, 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 very small sample size. And as far as we know, Kid didn't use any haki to try to negate the damage of the attack. Maybe he did, but Kid has very seldomly used haki in the story, even armament haki. Like, for example, the only time we ever see Kid use armament haki hardening is in One Piece Stampede, the movie. Like, literally the movie gets Douglas Bullet. So we have never seen Kid use hardening, and because of that, we don't know if he used haki or not at that point in time. So again, let's just assume that he didn't use haki at all, and he just took that full bore, and then the results are he's almost dying, like literally.
I'm having chest pain.
And one last thing too, for more context here, how I personally see this enraged divine departure, like Shanks' own Hakai, his own Conquest of the Sea, Ocean Sovereignty, Big Mom and Kaido collaboration move. Because if that hit Kid full bore, Kid was going to die, without a doubt. And that version of Kid back then on Rooftop is a weaker version of Kid that we see in front of Shanks. And Shanks does say, hey yo, do not underestimate the growth rate of the young bucks. But still, a stronger version of Kid nonetheless from back then takes one divine departure and again is dying from one attack. And this, I'd argue, is very, 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 very far from Shanks' best attack. I would say it's more akin to his version of the Thunder Bagua. Yes. And just how Kaido had superior versions of that technique. So he had the Ragnaraku, he had the Bellow Thunder Bagua, he had the Death Destroyer Bagua, he had the Flame Bagua, right? I think the same thing is going to easily apply to Shanks in the future, without a doubt. So, who takes this? Here are the most obvious choices. The folks that have super tough natural bodies without the need of activation. So, number one, number two, pretty obvious here, Big Mom and Kaido. they have proven themselves time and time again to be durability monsters that can just front tank so much damage throughout the entirety of Whole Cake Island Wano country. Now, they will get damaged massively, without a doubt, but they will tap into their inner John Cena and find a way to get back up. Number 3 would be Blackbeard. He would take way more damage than Kaido or Big Mom because those guys can just front tank so much damage innately, but something is up with Blackbeard's body, and maybe it's the reason why he can't fall asleep. But it seems like he can continuously take damage and just keep on marching forward. Though it is fitting that you have this abnormal sort of endurance and durability because of his ability, attacks are naturally gravitating towards him. And he is going to be one of the main rivals for Luffy and Shanks in this final saga, vying for the treasure itself. So he has to be broken in some ways, and his durability and endurance are absolutely going to be broken. He's gonna feel like Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts, way too many HP bars. After that likely would be the Seraphim. So their Lunarian bodies kind of make them invincible. Therefore, by default, King the Wildfire too. Because again, they're genuinely, quote here, assuming that they're, quote, genuinely invincible when their Human Torch Flame On mode is active. There could be a way here where like Conqueror's Haki or Haki in general can somewhat bypass their body's insane recovery and toughness, but until that's confirmed, I think it's fair to give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's it. Honest to God, that is it. Kaido, Big Mom, they can take it, keep on fighting, but they're gonna be massively damaged. Blackbeard even more so, and the Lunarian / Seraphims on paper, yeah, but I do have my reservations when it comes to how genuine their invincibility actually is. Now, I did think about a Kainu, but in the pre-time skip, weaker version of a Kainu, but in the pre-time skip, Whitebeard did two-piece him. And the Divine Departure is way more powerful than every move we saw Whitebeard do at Marineford. So Akainu is a maybe though. Mihawk, I don't see being that dude like Blackbeard, where with his natural body and that alone, he could just take damage of that degree. Though we haven't seen him take any damage in the story at all just yet. So Mihawk is a very likely, nah, that ain't happening. After that is Bartholomew Kuma. Low key is a good option because this dude is very tanky. And we know now he is a member of a special race, which you can argue only adds to the possibility of greater toughness. And remember, he did defend the Sunny Go for 2 years straight, literally 2 years straight. So that possibility for him does exist, but I think for the most part, there's a good chance that he takes that and he's like Kid. After that, maybe Dragon. Like,
no idea.
I guess in theory, Monkey D Dragon. But low key. Speaking of dragons, Momo has a very tough body now since the DNA of the Chad has awakened inside Momonosuke. In chapter 1052, that was noted to a lot. And Oden did take Goldie Rogers' Divine Departure during that flashback, and it kept it pushing. Was wounded, but not that bad at all. However, keep it a stack. Shanks' version is 100% above Goldie Rogers' version, since at the very least, because Shanks was pissed off. If Roger was enraged the same way as Shanks was, then that Divine Departure he does against Oden would have been a completely different breed. That's without question. And then, speaking of breed, Yamato. Yamato was kind of sort of ish on the table too, because in Wano Country, her durability and toughness were noted to time and time again. However, if not for the Mirror Mountain that she used to negate Kaido's Thunder Bagua during their Thunder Bagua clash and dash, then she would have taken a lot of damage, clearly. The residual damage was enough to make her face bleed afterwards, like long after the fact. A Divine Departure is way, I'd argue, way too much for Yamato to take T-posed up. Way too much. And then finally, Marco was also a good option too, because Marco, he is the Phoenix. In theory, Marco can recover from any attack as long as he's conscious. That was the main stipulation. Hey, yo, will Marco be conscious after a Divine Departure, full board T-posed Phoenix style in front of Shanks and Mad? No. Dicey situation for Marco, and I lean towards the nah. So overall, these are the best options I think so far for someone to take on the Divine Departure, T-posed up, natural body, no guarding, nothing. Kaido, Big Mom, Blackbeard, and in theory, the Seraphim / Lunari. In theory. And then in a general sense, none of the Supernova, the Straw Hats, the current Admirals, or anyone I can think of for that matter, could handle that Divine Departure T-posed up without doing anything. Now, of course, obviously, with active defending, obviously those numbers increase dramatically. But I also was considering the idea of cats in particular states. Like, for example, Diamond Jozu. We know for damn sure he's hella tanky in that diamond form, and he's already T-posed up. Can he take that Divine Departure and continue to fight? No. I would say a hard no on that one, and he may survive. He may survive, but I can see him losing 8 of his lives, like Puss in Boots. Yes, it's not gonna be a good day for Diamond Jozu.
What's the matter? Lives flashing before your eyes?
Rob Lucci, of course, is more durable in his ancestral Leopard Awakened form, rather than say base form. So could Rob Lucci keep it pushing after a Divine Departure, T-posed up, no guarding? After the Dawn Rocket? Nah. Rob Lucci just dies. Rob Lucci just flat out dies. And the same thing goes for every Zoan in their max power states, except for, of course, Kaido, but also Monkey D. Luffy. I think that Luffy in Gear 5 could take a Divine Departure to the chest without guarding and continue to fight. He would be massively, like just disgustingly damaged, in a similar vein to Big Mom and Kaido. And he is the only Straw Hat to be able to do this. The second tank of the Strat crew, obviously Sanji, with his eyebrows going 6, where he is literally built to be a tank that can negate massive amounts of damage off the rip. That is very apparent now. That's undisputable. However, even though it's in a similar vein as Kaido Big Mom, I don't think he has their level of durability without the raid suit. When I think about what happened on the rooftop, I remember Law took a Thunder Bagua from Kaido, and then he could keep it pushing after Luffy and Kaido had their first Conqueror's Haki clash. But Sanji is literally built to have way more durability than someone like Law. Absolutely. But even still, the Divine Departure is such an absurdly strong attack. I think that Sanji can take it and survive. So he's not like Kid, but unlike Luffy, he is done. He is literally done. Sanji has to wait for that healing factor to kick in. Ayo, Chopper, Doc, where you at? I'm done. Help me, I need a sensu bean right now. Now, Frankie, the third top tank in the crew, who's inside the Frankie Shogun, is interesting here because Frankie and Frankie Shogun does have like layers of defense like an onion. However, Shanks is like Ainsley Harriet with a brand new chef's knife. He is slicing through those layers without a doubt.
You doing that lovely lamb special? Also, yes, indeed I am.
So even though Frankie is studly with the durability for damn sure, I think ultimately he gets treated the same like Kid, where it's that one attack, we cut through the Frankie Shogun, because I don't believe, even though it could stop Whitebeard's Quake way back when in Marine Ford, the really thick Wappo metal of these circling walls, I think that, honest to God, Shanks's Divine Departure is a completely different breed of attack, without a doubt. So Frankie Shogun and himself, they get treated the same way like Kid. One cut, oh my God, bleh, he is dying, actually dying. And the same thing I'd argue goes for Zoro too. Zoro did stall the Hakai, Big Mom and Kaido's combo move, but he was doing so while he was actively blocking. If Zoro T-poses up in front of the Hakai, no. What? Wow. No. And like I said before, the way I kind of view the Divine Departure is like Shanks' own somewhat version of the Hakai. So in this case here, no. The last time I recall Zoro taking a big attack head on, no guard, nothing, was when he fought against Killer. At that point in time, Kamazo. He stabbed him right here, top of the right chest. Zoro could muster only one last move, the Purgatory Onigiri, and then he passed out. Zoro passed out, he was done. And I know back then, folks trying to throw in their own cope spin on why his stomach was growling. Well, the anime confirms pretty much that he was hungry, hence why he asked Hiri to make him food after he protected them, and why after he woke up, he was eating Hiri's food. Zoro might get a durability buff when he's in the King of Hell mode, but I need to see more evidence for that, for Zoro. And then after Zoro finally for the Straw Hats, because I don't go too long here, is Jinbei. Jinbei did take an Akainu Magma Fist through his body in the pre-time skip when he was trying to protect Luffy. That's very impressive, honestly. And he did muscle through for a little bit of time afterwards, but that was really it. That wee little magma fish has nothing on the Divine Departure, yeah? Ultimately speaking, the Divine Departure is just that move. And I think it's fair to say that, yeah, like maybe 5 people in the entire story of One Piece can take an attack. T-posed up, no hockey, no guard, nothing. A very scant few could take that attack and continue to fight. And I would say no one can take that attack and be unscathed. That's just not possible. That even for like Lunarian, not possible. And honestly, somewhere in my kingdom hearts, in my heart of hearts, I'm really tempted to say this attack one-shots everybody in the story. But even for a Shanks fanboy like myself, I realize that may be a hair too far. I don't care who you are in the world of One Piece, if they are facing down an enraged Shanks and he is about to unleash the gospel, God, you best get out of the church, because that sermon is about to rock your world and potentially send you to Jesus real quick. But let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If you do enjoy my content at large, be sure to rate the video with a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to your boy's channel and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you cats on the flip side.